Good morning. We have woken to the worst possible news that we feared and dreaded this week. Michael O'Sullivan has died at the age of 24, one of the most promising and prodigious talents we've seen for a long time. A man whose exploits in the saddle impressed almost everyone, and even more importantly, whose demeanour and manner out of it was something that left a lasting impression on everyone who encountered him. We think today of his family and his many, many friends in the sport. The Irish Horse Racing Regulatory Board have released the following statement this morning. They've said on behalf of the O'Sullivan family, it's with profound sadness that the IHRB confirms the passing of Michael O'Sullivan. The directors and staff of the IHRB wish to extend their sincere condolences to Michael's family, partner, friends, his colleagues in the weighroom and the wider racing community at this time. Dr. Jennifer Pugh, who's the Chief Medical Officer of the IHRB, has been lending her support to Michael's family and the medics who've been looking after him for the last 10 days. And she said Michael sadly passed away in the early hours of Sunday morning, surrounded by his loving family in Cork University Hospital. We extend our appreciation to the multidisciplinary teams who provided the best of medical care to Michael, both on the racecourse and in Cork University Hospital. Michael's family took the decision to donate his organs at this incredibly difficult time, but in doing so, made a choice that will make a real difference to the lives of other patients and their families. I've had the privilege of knowing Michael through his amateur and professional career, and his dedication, modesty and kind nature always made him a pleasure to be around. Michael's success and his humility will have inspired many, and I share the feeling of loss today with all those who knew him. Michael's family would like to reiterate their gratefulness for all the support they've received in the last couple of days and express their appreciation to the local community and racing family. The O'Sullivan family have asked for privacy at this time. Darragh O'Loughlin is the Chief Executive of the IHRB, and Darragh said Michael was an exceptionally talented young rider who was always popular in the weighroom. Michael will be deeply missed by everyone in racing who had the pleasure of knowing him. Our hearts go out to Michael's family, especially his parents Bernadette and William and his brother Alan, who will feel his loss most keenly. As a mark of respect, the fixture at Punchestown today and all the point-to-point fixtures across Ireland have been cancelled. Well, I'm joined now by Barry Geraghty. Barry knew Michael extremely well, and Barry is the Jockeys Liaison Officer for the Irish Jockeys Association. Barry, this is the news that we all feared for several days. Still, however, it has come as a great shock. A man who was so young, so talented and so well loved. Can you, on behalf of the Irish jockeys, share your thoughts this morning?
Oh, it's devastating news. And I was at Geraghty yesterday, and you know, the mood was so low because hopes were slipping away. As you said, Michael, much loved, much talented, but just such a kind, warm, caring person, so popular. It was a lonely place in Geraghty yesterday, fearing what was potentially on the corner, and it's happened this morning, and it's a very, very sad time for everyone.
We think particularly today of Michael's family, of William and Bernie, his parents, his brother Alan, who rides as well, and all those who are closely involved with what is a very tight-knit family in County Cork. Just tell me a little about the O'Sullivans and their contribution to racing through point-to-pointing and what we've seen in more recent years.
Yeah, well, Michael's father, William, won the Fox Hunters back in '91 on Lovely Citizen, a horse that was owned by his granddad, bred by his grandfather, trained by his uncle Eugene. Eugene won the race in 2020 again with Michael's first cousin Maxine rode a horse there. So no, they're deeply embedded in point-to-pointing, especially in Cork, but in racing as well. Michael has made a massive impact himself in his own career. He studied, he stayed in college, and he rode as an amateur with a lot of success, turned professional, and instantly hit the ground running, and gave Marine Nationale a brilliant ride to win the Supreme Novice Hurdle, and then backed it up later in the same card with Jazzy Matty in the Boodles in a three-way finish. Like, a brilliantly talented rider, but a great family, great horse people, and yeah, as I say, deeply embedded in racing and point-to-pointing.
It struck me over the last few days, Barry, how important the work has been of those who've had to work with Michael's family and also communicate to the wider public, all of whom have taken clearly such an intense interest in his well-being. Tell me a little bit about the work of Jennifer Pugh.
Oh, Jennifer's been brilliant all the way through. She's been by the family side, and keeping all riders updated at all stages on Michael's well-being. But on the day itself, Dr. Ciara O'Carroll and Dr. Gillian Burke, who were they were there attending to Michael on the day instantly. The ground staff at Torres Racecourses as well, the Order of Malta ambulance crew, everyone was just there instantly, and so much was done, and everything that could have been done was done. Michael was in Cork University Hospital, where he was cared for brilliantly as well. But he had all the care, and everything that could have been done was done. But Jennifer Pugh particularly has been brilliant by his side, keeping everyone updated, but for Michael's family as well. So it's amazing backup, I suppose, on all fronts, really.
Barry, I wanted to talk a little, and I know this news is very recent and everyone will be feeling very raw, but I wanted to talk a little about Michael out of the saddle as well as in it, because anybody can see a very talented sportsman, but for somebody so young to have such composure and such a ability to communicate and such a way about them that impresses everyone, it was such a rare gift.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything about Michael, though, he was just such a lovely, kind person, very humble, quietly spoken, very intelligent, well educated. He stayed on in college. He did an honours degree in agricultural science, but he had a lovely way about him, and that's why the Wareham is a broken place because of that. Because they've lost such a beautiful person, and anyone who had the pleasure of Michael's company or any dealing with him found him that way. And he was constantly striving for improvement in his own riding and everything he did. But yeah, no, just a beautiful person, and it's a lonely place.
Barry, clearly the Irish Jockeys Room is going to take a long time to recover from this, and racing's been cancelled today at Punchestown, and all the point-to-points are cancelled now as well. Fatal injuries to jockeys are mercifully rare, but they are very shocking, and when they do happen, it clearly has a seismic impact. How will particularly the young men and women of the Irish Jockeys Room pick themselves up to go out and ride in days and weeks to come?
Oh, it's a tough time, and I know we've been through it in our own time as well. We lost Kieran Kelly 22 years ago, and it's difficult, especially in those formative years. But as a group, they pulled together, and you could feel that, and you could see, the clusters in the Wareham yesterday of close friends together, going out walking the track, getting a bit of space, chatting, just communicating. It's a high risk sport, and they face it again, but it's what they do and what they loved, and it's what Michael loved and what he did and what he enjoyed. But yeah, it's very much pulling together, and they will get on with it, but Michael will be in everyone's thoughts, going forward. It's going to leave a lasting impact, obviously.
Barry, thank you.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.